Now that we have a sketch, we're going to go through some basics of part modeling for Autodesk Inventor. So since again our sketch is a closed loop, closed shape, we can do an extrusion to try and give volume to our object. So in this case, we want to select the main shape of our object here so that we can give it some depth. With extrusions, we can do different directions. We could do down from our sketch, up from the sketch, halfway for both, or asymmetric. With these, you can also change the draft, so the amount of taper in either direction if you're doing it in multiple ways, or if you're only doing it in one, our taper would only affect it in that one direction. With our part modeling, we also can do things with patterns. So let's say we want to create a sketch with a little hole through the center to add to our hole here. We're going to add a single sketch first with a single circle over in the corner on this side instead. So if we create our sketch with our small circle, we can do a little bit more with our extrusions if we decide we'd like to cut them. We can choose different options with our extrusions. In this case, we're just going to cut. So we have a little feature that we can start to pattern out. So with our hole here, let's say we'd like to start looking at doing a pattern. Our patterns are up in the ribbon, up at the top. We have our rectangle, our circular, our sketch driven, and our mirror patterns. So in this case, we're going to do a rectangular pattern. So our rectangular pattern, and for all of our patterns, you choose which features, which objects you'd like to have more of, which ones you'd actually like to pattern out. So in this case, we'd like to choose our little hole here, and we'd like to choose what directions we want those extra holes in. So with these, a lot of times we can choose any of the same direction. We could choose here or here to make the same type of shape. So in this one, we're going to choose about here. We want to make this spacing to where we actually have it on the same part of the object. Our second direction, we wouldn't want to choose the same direction here. We want to choose something perpendicular. So in this case, we're going to choose over here. If you notice, it's pointing away, it's pointing over to the left here, so it's not even on the object. If we choose this red and black flip icon here, it'll flip it over to the other side. So in this case, we can change our values again to try and make sure, there it goes, we pattern it in the correct way. Once we have something like this, we could also do something similar to a mirror pattern, where we choose whichever features we'd like to pattern out, but we want over a specific plane to create symmetrical parts. We can choose OK, and now we have a symmetrical piece like this.